Lavender has been used for probably 2,000 years. The Egyptians used it in their burials, and then the Greeks picked it up from them, how to use it. Mary anointed Jesus' feet with what was called spikenard and wiped it with her hair. Spikenard is an ancient name for lavender. Of course, it grew naturally wild. And actually, the gypsies would pick it and take it into London, and then they would walk up and down the streets. They won't let me do that at the farmer's market. But Queen Victoria is the one that made it, well, you might say romanticized lavender. She loved it so much until she appointed a purveyor of lavender to the Queen. And she wanted to have a fresh bundle daily. Don't know quite how they did that year round, but maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But she did drink a lot of lavender tea for her migraine headaches. This farm was my mother's parents. It was Hattie and Howard Rogers. They bought 70 acres here. It was close to 70. And it was about 70 acres. In 1933, they bought it for $3,000. In 2003, my dad divided up this portion of the land to me and my two sisters, also some. And so one day I was looking at this Better Homes and Garden, actually, and it had Jardin du Soleil. It means garden in the sun in French. But that's where her field is. And I looked at that and I said, well, I can do that. And what's so funny, my sister gave me the book to show me a recipe. She was into really loving to cook. Well, I did too, but for some reason I saw that. So then I'm talking, and in the books, I'm the type that tends to intellectualize things. I'm in the books reading about the history, reading about the botany, reading about growing it and what it needs in the soil, getting more and more confused with more and more information until I could not do anything. And my dad, with his simple farmer, good sense, one day he says to me, well, Rita, your field is ready. Go up there and plant your lavender. Well, France is its natural homeland. For some reason, it found its home on those slopes in the rocky, hilly, around the Mediterranean. It grew wild there. You know, and I mentioned before that the gypsies would pick it and take it in to sell. But here, it's not natural for it to grow here, you would almost say, because we have clay-like soils, and they're used to that light, sandy soil with a low pH, a low acidity. So here you have to bank the row up so that when it does rain, it drains off quickly, because wet feet will kill it. The roots will rot. It'll get root rot. And you really kind of trick it into thinking it's home, I guess. I have 5 hybrids. I have Grosso, Grosso. I think that's 2/3 of the crop, really, in the south of France, because it was especially bred in 1972 to have high levels of oil in the buds, and that's what they grow it for, because they'll have great fields of 25 or 50 acres. They take a machine in, harvest it with a machine, and shovel it into the distillery, and it takes 500 pounds of the stems with the flower buds on top, 500 pounds to get 16 ounces of lavender essential oil. So that's why it's expensive. And when you harvest, you just trim the stems. You don't trim down into the bush. You trim down into the bush only 1/3 of the green part later in the fall. But that wonderful green, clean smell that it has. It keeps its color and scent when it's dried, but that little green scent is so wonderful. When they're making the lavender ones, it's a little tedious work, you know, but the whole time you're stirring up that lavender fresh smell, you're so happy you really don't mind doing it. Believe it or not, I'm going to tell a secret. I'm actually a recluse by my nature. But you see, I had this friend who's very gregarious. She's the opposite of me. And so last year, she pushed me in to open up the field to the public. She said, "You're the best kept secret in Salisbury, North Carolina."